Morning, everyone. Good morning. If you have a block, you might like to grab that for your practice this morning. If you don't have a block, it's not essential. You can always grab one or two books, or you actually don't need it at all. So that's just optional. And if you have, I know some of you have bolsters, so if that's the case, feel free to have a bolster close to you. If you don't, again, it doesn't matter. Another option, sometimes if I don't have a bolster with me, I might grab a couple of sort of firm cushions or a couple of pillows or even a rolled up blanket. So this is entirely optional, and the bolster is really just for one of our very first yoga poses that we're going to possibly work with, which is Supta Baddha Konasana. I might actually just demonstrate that now. If you don't want to lie down, if you'd like to stay seated, that's of course always fine. But let me just come back to the mat and show you. So don't need the bolster, you don't need cushions, but if you have those, you might like to pop them on your mat, sort of towards one end. And then we have the buttocks on the mat, not on the end of the bolster or the cushions. So you might have a couple of cushions here. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees out wide, and carefully lie ourselves down. So you can just be lying down on the mat. You don't necessarily need this support under the back, but it's nice if you do have a bolster. The other thing you can do if you find your knees are up quite high is to grab an extra cushion or blanket and just pop those on the outer thighs, just to give the legs a little bit of support. That's a beautiful position. I could stay here for some time. The other thing to watch is, I don't know if you're looking, you might see that my head is sort of hanging back a little bit and my chin is sort of sticking up towards the ceiling. So we try to avoid that happening if we possibly can. So you might grab an extra little cushion, or if you've got a block or even one of those, a book, you can actually just pop a little cushion or block underneath the back of the head. So ideally the chin is tucking forward, back of the neck is long, and the arms can be down alongside you, or if you have the opening in the shoulders, you might even like to extend the arms up overhead. Fingers might be interlaced, or you could even hold on to the opposite elbow. I'd like to close the eyes. If this isn't a comfortable position for you, you can always just start off in a semi-supine position. So soles of the feet on the floor, knees up towards the ceiling, and you can just rest that way instead. So when you've arrived in your chosen pose, whether you've decided to stay seated or lying down, just let the body settle, let the breath settle. You might like to sigh the breath away a few times. Just feel yourself dropping down, dropping into yourself. Nothing to change or fix or do. For this moment, just let yourself be. Feeling your weight, your solidity, your stability, solid on the earth. Sink into that feeling. You might like to say to yourself, breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my mind. May I be balanced. May I be at peace. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my mind. May I be balanced. May I be at peace. Bring your awareness now to the tip of your nostrils and be aware of the soft, gentle breath as it flows in and out. One breath at a time. Breath flowing in, breath flowing out. Nothing else but the breath. Watch the breath. Simple, light attention on the breath. I'd like to share a beautiful poem with you from John O'Donoghue. You have travelled too fast over false ground. Now your soul has come to take you back. Take refuge in your senses. Open up to all the small miracles you rushed through. Become inclined to watch the way of rain when it falls slow and free. Imitate the habit of twilight, taking time to open the well of colour that fostered the brightness of day. Draw alongside the silence of stone until its calmness can claim you. Be excessively gentle with yourself. Today's practice is all about encouraging us to appreciate the simple treasures of life. Breath, bird song, a cup of tea, interesting shaped clouds in the sky, a smile from a stranger, a warm bed to sleep in. These times we find ourselves in aren't easy, and we can easily find ourselves feeling a bit flat or grumpy or irritable, even quite anxious or depressed. At such times, it can be helpful to slow down and endeavour to focus our attention on the small wonders and pleasures of life. Watching a snail, listening to small children laughing, playing uplifting music, dancing, spending time in nature. Our yoga practice can be a part of this, something that supports and uplifts us, something that strengthens and softens us, something that brings us joy and makes us feel alive. So today the intention is to connect with that part of us that is hopeful and light and joyful. the part of us that wants to be happy and content. This may sound easy, but for some of us, it may need to be something that we keep practicing. The well-known sage Patanjali knew this, and he actually devoted a whole sutra to this discipline, this practice. Sutra 2.33. Vitakka Bhavanam Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Vitakka Bhavanam Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Pratipaksha means opposite, and Bhavanam means cultivation. So this sutra encourages us to retrain our minds to think positive thoughts when we're being overtaken by negative ones in an attempt to reduce suffering. We're going to start to move a little in a moment. So if you're still in Supta Baddha Konasana with the knees wide, I encourage you now to bring the knees in towards each other. And if you're sitting, we're all going to come to lie down on our mats, on our backs, with the knees drawn in towards the chest. So if you've got bolsters or blankets or cushions underneath you, just pop those to one side now. And we're coming into Uppanasana, so knees into the chest. And you might like to rock a little bit from side to side. So I'm going to come to meet you back on my mat again. And I'm going to incorporate a little bit of humming this morning as well, if you'd like to join with me. So knees are into the chest and we're giving ourselves a lovely hug. In a moment, we're going to raise the legs up to the sky, take the arms out to the side or up and overhead. And as we exhale, we'll come back into this position, chanting So a very soothing sound, feeling the vibration of the sound in your heart space. So we'll do 5 of these. Let's exhale all breath. Tuck the chin forward. And then breathing in, raise the legs. Exhaling, humming back. 4 more. Feel free to go at your own pace with this. Let the legs and arms be light and free, almost weightless. If the neck's okay, you might like to lift your head up towards your knees as you're exhaling. Let's keep going. 2 more. Keep the face soft, mouth free of tension. Last one. When you finish, take both hands around your right knee and we're going to extend the left leg out along the mat. Now we're going to point the left toes, tuck the chin forward. Once again, feel that you're lying in a nice straight line. And as we breathe in, we're going to raise this left leg up to the sky, flexing the foot. And as we exhale, slowly lowering the leg down. The heel may hover off the floor, and then we point the toes, breathing in, take the leg up, flex the foot, and lower. Soft, soothing, gentle breath. Breathing in, take the leg up. This time we're going to keep the leg in the air and we'll point and flex the left foot. Warming up our left ankle joint on this very cold morning, those of us who are in Victoria or Melbourne. Good, and then circling that left foot. Nice slow circles. And reverse. And then we're going to carefully lower that left leg down. When the heel touches the floor, place your right foot on the left thigh. We're moving into a twist. So left hand to the outer edge of the right knee, right arm out at shoulder height. As we exhale, take that knee across the body. Try to relax your right shoulder. Head may turn to the right, unless it's better for you to keep the head in more of a neutral position. We're holding the pose, connecting with our breath. Again, it's a soft, calm, gentle breath this morning. No harshness, no strain. Enjoying each inhalation and each exhalation. Now let's gently come back to center. Release the right leg down along next to the left leg. Now keep your arms sort of out to the side a little bit. And this next pose is called the one-legged frog. So if you're not sure, if you haven't done this with me before, you might like to have a look. It's a bit of a hip opener practice. So we're going to draw the right foot, sole of the foot to the left ankle. And as we breathe in, we're sliding the right foot up the left leg as high as we can, bringing this right knee up towards the right armpit. And then we stretch the leg out and exhale, lower. So sole of the foot to the left ankle, breathing in, slide the foot up, knee up towards the armpit, stretch the leg out, foot is flexed, and lower. Let's do 3 more. Breathing in, stretch the leg out, and lower. Keep going. Trying to stay nice and grounded through the left side of the body. Left foot flexed. Face relaxed. Last one. Good. When that foot comes down, bring your arms down alongside you and take a breath. Okay, let's do that same sequence now on the other side. So bring the left knee in, interlace your fingers around the knee, tuck the chin forward, point your right toes. Let's inhale, take the right leg up. Flex the foot. And lower. Heel may hover. 2 more of these. Breathe in. Flex the foot. Last one, keeping the foot in the air this time. And start to point and flex the right foot. Good. And then making little circles with your foot. Noticing how this right ankle is feeling this morning. And reverse. Good. Come back to center. Carefully lower that right leg down. Left foot goes onto the right thigh. Right hand to the outer edge of the left knee. Left arm at shoulder height. As we exhale, carrying that knee across the body. Option to turn the head to the left if that's okay for your neck. Try to relax your left shoulder. And find your breath here. Face relaxed. Let's gently come back to center. Slide that left leg down along the mat. Keep the arms out to the side, palms facing up. So we do the one-legged frog. So sole of the left foot on your right ankle. As you breathe in, you slide the foot up the leg. Knee lifts up towards the armpit as much as you can. Stretch the left leg out and lower. So 4 more of these. Breathing in. Stretch the leg out, flex the foot, and lower. Keep going. Keeping that right side grounded. Right foot flexed. Make sure you're not tensing the shoulders, your arms, your hands and fingers. Right. And 1 more. When you finish that last one, bring the left foot down, bring your arms in alongside you. Again, just take a resting breath here. Let's bring both knees into the chest. Cross your legs at the ankles, a hand on each knee, and we'll make some little circles on the floor. And come back to center, cross the legs the other way, circling the opposite direction. And then we come back to center and step the feet down close to the buttocks, hip width apart, a little bit pigeon-toed. Check again that your head, neck and spine are in a straight line, chin tucks forward, and pressing your palms down alongside your hips. So we're preparing now to work with Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. You can keep the arms down by your side if that's better for your shoulders, but if it's okay to do so, we're going to be raising one arm overhead and then the other arm, and then on the third lift, and then we exhale, we lower both arms down. If you're not sure, feel free to have a look. So let's exhale, all breath, press the lower back down. And then as we breathe in, we start to peel the spine away from the floor and lift the left arm up overhead. Don't feel that you have to come to your maximum height these first few times. As you lower the spine, keep that left arm resting overhead. And then on the second lift, the right arm will lift overhead to meet the left. And as we exhale, we lower the back down, so both arms are overhead. Breathing in, we lift a third time. And as we exhale, both arms lower. So that's one sequence. Let's do a couple more. So breathing in, left arm lifts, or you keep your arms by your side and just lift and lower the back. Exhale, lower, left arm stays overhead. Breathing in, right arm lifts. And we lower the back. Inhale, back lifts. And we lower both arms as the back rolls down. Let's do one more. Breathing in, left arm. Inhale, right arm lifts. Breathe in, lift the back, lift the belly. And lowering both arms with the spine. And take a rest. I'd like to sigh the breath away. I'd like to share with you another of my favourite poems. Some of you will have heard this before. You can never hear this too many times. It's by Aldous Huxley. It's dark because you are trying too hard. Lightly, child, lightly. Learn to do everything lightly. Yes, feel lightly even though you're feeling deeply. Just lightly let things happen and lightly cope with them. I was so preposterously serious in those days. Lightly, lightly. It's the best advice ever given me. There are quicksands all about you, sucking at your feet, trying to suck you down into fear and self-pity and despair. That's why you must walk so lightly, lightly, my dark. Let's bring the hands to rest over the heart space. We'll work with 3 of our humming sounds again. So exhale all breath. As you breathe in, raise the arms up to the sky. Humming back to the heart. 2 more. Take a breath. And then we're going to lift the feet into the air, create a lovely right angle with our legs. And we're going to do a little bit of abdominal strengthening work. Now, if this isn't great for you this morning, if you'd like a gentler option, you might work with a bit more bridge or just take a rest or do some gentle rocking from side to side. Otherwise, we've got that lovely right angle, the feet are flexed, the hands are going to press onto the thighs. And as we are pressing the palms into the thighs at the same time, we're trying to press the thighs back into our palms. So you should hopefully feel the abdominal muscles being engaged here. Try to press the lower back down. Keep the breath flowing and keep the chin tucking forward. When you need a little rest, we'll do this a few times. You can bring the knees into the chest or just lower the feet down to the floor. You can even, with your fingertips, just tap the tummy. So when you're ready, you can have a second go. So feet and knees are hip width apart, pressing the palms into your thighs, thighs back to the palms, lower back pressing down, keep the face soft. When you need a little rest, just lower the feet or bring them into the chest, a little tap on the tummy if that's beneficial. We'll try one more of these and then a variation. So again, bring the legs up and pressing. Rest when you need to. Okay, now if you haven't seen this variation before, you might want to have a look. So this next time, the feet are in the air, same position, but we're going to cross the arm, one hand over to the opposite thigh. So bring the right hand palm to your left thigh. Now the left arm is down by our side. As we breathe in, we're going to straighten the right leg and extend that left arm overhead. So same thing, we're pressing the palm into the thigh and the thigh back to the palm. Exhale, lower the arm and bring that right knee. So let's do 2 more. Breathe in, stretch it away. And breathe out, draw in. 1 more. And then take a rest, sigh the breath away. And then we'll try the other side. So feet into the air, left palm to your right thigh, right palm down alongside your hip. Tuck the chin forward. When you're ready, breathe in, right arm overhead, straighten the left leg, press the hand into the thigh, and exhale, draw it in. 2 more of these. Breathe in, stretch it away. Breathe out, draw in. And 1 more. And release. Have a breath or 2 there, perhaps tapping the tummy. Sigh the breath away if it feels good. And then we're going to carefully roll over to one side and come around to lie down onto our tummies. So feet are hip width apart, arms are above the head, at least shoulder width apart. They might even be wider if the shoulders are feeling quite tight this morning. Your chin or your forehead is on the mat. So we're going to work with a variation of locust shalabhasana. To begin with, we're going to be lifting left arm, head, and left leg, and really trying to lengthen and stretch from fingertip to toe tip. So let's exhale all breath. And as we breathe in, lifting left arm, left leg, and head. We're looking for length rather than height. So stretch the left toes back rather than trying to lift the leg up high and lower. 2 more of these. Breathe in, left arm, left leg, and head. And lower, stretching the leg out of the hip joint. Breathe in and lift. And lower. We'll move straight onto the other side. Right arm, right leg, and head. And lower. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And 1 more. And release. Now we're doing a diagonal stretch. So left arm, head, and right leg. And lower. 2 more of these. Again. And then swapping sides, right arm, left leg. And again. Now, if you've had enough, feel free to take a rest. Otherwise, this time as we breathe in, both arms, legs, and head. And lower. 2 more of these. Stretching from fingertip to toe tip, looking for length rather than height. Synchronizing the lift with your inhale and lowering as you exhale. When you finish, Rest one hand on top of the other, your chin or your forehead on your hands, and just rest for a breath or two. If the lower back's feeling a bit tender, you can bend the lower legs and swing them gently from side to side. When you are ready, we're going to move into Makarasana, crocodile. So again, feet are hip width, or if the lower back's feeling extra tender this morning, they might be mat width apart. And we're pressing the palms of the hands together. So we're resting on our forearms. If this is a bit strong for your back, you might be in more of a gentle back bend, having the hands further forward. But also at any point, we're going to try to stay for at least a minute. Feel free to come down early if you need to. Okay. I'd like to close the eyes if you feel comfortable. If you prefer, the eyes can be open. You might even just be gazing at the tip of the nose. This is called Nasi Kagra Drishti, nose tip gazing. While we're here, we're going to work with a little visualization. This is similar to something we worked with last week, those of you who joined me for practice. So I invite you to bring to mind a place or a person that you love and find uplifting. It's really joyful for you, brings you a lot of joy. So just choose one person or a place in the world that is uplifting for you, that is full of love for you. Now with each inhalation, let's imagine that we're breathing in that person or place. Visualize them in your mind's eye, breathing in the energy of that person or place. And as you exhale, just allow that feeling of being uplifted, of being full of joy, to spread throughout your being. Breathing in that personal place you love and find uplifting. As you exhale, allow the energy of that personal place to spread down through your being. A few more breaths in this way. Gently lower down. Rest your chin or your forehead in your hands. Again, you can bend the lower legs if you need to and swing them from side to side. Just noticing how you feel without judgment. If you would like a little bit of an extra challenge at this point, it's quite a challenge, this one. We can try to lift from the floor up into Chaturanga Dandasana. So if you're not sure, if you haven't done this before, you can have a look first. The hands come alongside the chest, the elbows are tucked in. Looking down towards the mat, we tuck the toes, and then we see if we can lift the body off the floor just a few centimeters. Something like this. You might just do it and then fall straight back down. Some of you might be able to stay for a few breaths. So if you'd like to have a go at that, please do. Keep the elbows squeezing in. Make sure you keep breathing. And then when we've had enough, we're all going to push back into child pose. The knees can be together or hip width apart. Your arms might be down alongside you, or you might be supporting your head with your hands. And we take a rest here. Sending the breath down into the lower back. If it's feeling a little bit tight, You can even make fists with the hands and give your lower back a little bit of a rub. And then we're going to extend the arms forward. So we're into extended child, sometimes called Ardha Mukha Virasana. Connecting with our breath here. In a moment, we're going to move from this position. We're going to try to slide along the floor and move into a low cobra, Bhujangasana, and then back into extended child. So we're going to try maybe 5 or 6 of these and just see if we can get a bit of a flow happening. Might feel a bit clunky to begin, but after a few times, let's see what happens. So we keep the head low down to the ground. A teacher of mine a little while ago said it's like we're a worm wriggling along the ground. So we're looking forward along our mat and we're going to slowly come, keeping as low as we can. Again, the elbows stay tucked in. We lift up into a low cobra. Don't try to lift too high the first couple of times. Bend the legs and back into extended child. So again, we're sliding down, just keeping as low as we can, arms in the air, elbows squeezing in, rolling through, chest is forward, heart is lifted, and back into extended child. So have a few more goes. Work with your own breath, breathing in and breathing out as we push back into child. Elbows squeezing, shoulders down away from the ears, back into child. Couple more. And then we're going to add a pose. Now take a rest if you'd like to. When you're ready, let's again come forward, coming through into cobra, elbows squeezed in. This time we're going to tuck our toes and move back into dog and rest here for a breath or two. And then we lower the knees down into cat, big toes touch, and back into extended child. So let's try a couple more of these. Slide along the floor, come through into cobra, tuck your toes, back into dog, and stay for a breath or two. Lowering the knees into child. Try one more of these or take a rest. With the breath flowing. Good. Breath or two in dog. And you lower the knees and rest in child. Beautiful. Now, while we're in child, if you'd like to join with me, we'll hum 3 times into the heart. Breathing in. Gently release and come up into a kneeling position. Either staying down low or If it's better for you, this can be your start position. We're going to go through a few rounds of a kneeling salute. And we're adding a variation of camel at the beginning. Again, most of you, I think, have done this with me, but if not, feel free to watch until you get the hang of it. So either here or down here to begin. Let's slip one hand to the lower back. And as we breathe in, lift up and we raise the opposite arm up. Now you can just stretch up tall, or you can have a little bit of a back bend here, whatever's best for you this morning. As we exhale, we lower, we swap the hands over, and we breathe in. Raise the opposite arm, stretching up tall, or perhaps a little back bend. And we sit back down. And this time, both arms lift up. And into extended child. Inhale, cat, tuck your toes, down face dog pose. Coming back down onto the knees, into child. Now this is what we've been practicing. So staying low to the mat, slide along the floor, come through into Bhujangasana, elbows squeezing in, shoulders down, back into extended child. Inhale, come up. And exhale. Let's do two more of these. So one hand to the lower back, breathe in, other arm stretches up. Swap the hands over. Inhale. Both arms up. And coming forward. Inhale, cat. Tuck your toes. Down, face dog pose. Back down onto the knees. Into child. Sliding along the floor, coming through into cobra. Back into child. Again, one hand to the lower back, breathe in, stretching up tall or a little back bend. And exhale. Swap the hands over. Tuck your toes, down face upwards. Back into cat and child. Sliding on the floor. Inhale. And exhale. Take a breath or two here, relax your shoulders, soften the face. Okay, we're going to come up onto our knees, and you can always pop a blanket under your knees. We're going to start off with the left knee down, so you can pop a cushion or blanket if that's helpful. This is where you might like to grab your block or your books for a little bit of extra support. You may not need it, but I'll just show you where you're going to position it if you have it. And then we're going to extend the right leg out. So our right big toe is pointing forward, and the right big toe is in a straight line with the left knee, just to help you with your alignment. Our arms are by our side, so the block can be down like that, or it can be here, or it might even be up high. You can play around with height, depending on what you need, what support you need. So let's exhale all breath. As we breathe in, we'll raise our arms to shoulder height. And as we exhale, we're tipping over to the left side. So this is where the fingers may come down to the block or the books, and the right arm stretches up. Inhale, come up. We're not holding at this point, turning to the right. And exhale, leaning over to the right side. Left arm stretches up. So breathing in, come up. Turn around to the left. Exhale. You can just look down if that's best for your neck this morning. Otherwise, you can look forward or perhaps up. Inhale, come up. Turn to the right. Exhale. Breathe in. This time we're going to hold the pose. So right arm up. If you want to take it a bit further, you turn that right arm and extend the arm over your head, pressing down into the right foot, particularly the toes. Again, just be careful of your neck. Any strain in the neck, just ease off and look down, or at least forward rather than up. Connecting with your breath here. Bring the head to neutral. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Step that right foot in. You need to give that right knee some support. We swap the block or the books over to the other side, and we extend the left leg out. So check your alignment with your big toe and the knee. Arms by your side. When you're ready, breathe in, raise the arms, turn to the right, and leaning over, left arm up. Inhale, lift up, turn to the left, and exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out over to the right. Inhale, turn to the left, exhale. Holding this time. So left arm straight up, or turn the arm, extend the arm over your head. Keep the left big toes pressing down. Find your breath here. Bring the head to neutral. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Release the leg in. And you can pop the books or the block to one side. We're going to have a go at doing a balance, which is on the balls of the toes. So let's see how we go with this one. If you can, you have the feet and the knees together. If you feel a bit wobbly, you've got a wall, or you can even have a chair or something in front of you or to the sides to help you balance. But if possible, we're trying to have our thighs parallel to the floor, nice tall spine, and if we can, bring the hands together at the heart. Connecting with our breath. It's a soft, gentle breath. Face soft. Sure we're not clenching the teeth. Those of you who'd like to challenge yourself a little bit more this morning, the next step is to bring the left ankle onto the right thigh. Something like this. And if we feel really steady, you might need to get the hands down or on a wall. But if we feel steady, then we can bring the hands into prayer position at the heart. Trying to keep that left foot flexed to protect the left knee. And then you can try the other side if you'd like to. Or we're just staying in this central position. It's also really good as the weather gets colder to keep the circulation moving down in our feet and our ankles. Good if we get cold feet often. And All right, let's gently release. If it's helpful, just come forward and shake the legs out, take them back and shake. We're going to have a go at doing a little squat. So if you find this really challenging, if you can't get the heels down, you might get a blanket or cushions or even your bolster that you used earlier in the practice to pop under your heels. Some of you might be able to get the heels down. It's not a competition. We all have very different bodies. We've been through different experiences in life. If you can, you bring again the hands into prayer position at the heart space, and you can press the elbows into the inner knees to draw them out, trying to keep the spine as upright as possible, the chest moving forward. So we'll stay here for a few more breaths if you're happy. If not, feel free to release at any point. Those of you, again, who want a bit more of a challenge, you might like to try Bakasana, which we don't do very often, which is crane pose. It's another balance. I'll demonstrate if you're not sure. So we spread the fingers wide, hands are shoulder width apart. We come up onto the balls of the feet, and then we see if we can bring our knees in towards our armpits, or as close to the armpits as possible. And then we see if we can lift our feet off the air, into the air, sorry. Breathe. So when you've had enough of the squat or the balance, we're all going to meet on our buttocks, legs bent, and just resting with the arms forward to side. Seeing what's going on inside. Feeling. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, energetically. Let's lift the head and just stretch the legs away. Bring the hands over your heart, and again we'll work with 3 hums. So exhale all breath. Breathing in. Take the arms out, humming back to the heart. Two. Just a couple more poses before we move into a meditation. So you've got a choice for this next movement, either to work with table, both the back bends, or Purvottanasana, which is a strong back bend. So the gentler option is table. So I'll just show both quickly. We're only going to do each of these once. You choose which one you'd like to do, and you can hold it for as long as you like. Just lifting up and holding and breathing. So table, feet at hip width. You can try experiment with the hands, whether the fingers are turned away or towards you. Chest is lifted, shoulders back, and we lift up. Any neck issues, you can just look along the body. If the neck's okay, you might be able to drop the head back and hold. So that's table. Purvottanasana. Legs are straight. Again, you can play around with the position of the hands, and we lift up. Again, either looking along the body or head drops back. So you choose. You can go into it when you're ready. Keep the breath flowing. Approaching these poses with a light attitude, not so serious. looking at it as something to play with and have fun with and feel joy about, rather than it being a struggle. If it doesn't feel great, just stop, do something different, have a rest, do some humming. So if you're still there, just another couple of breaths. Those of you who've released, stretch the legs out. If they're not there, you can give them a bit of a shake, even a little bit of a rub. And I'd like for our final pose for you to choose your favourite forward bend. And we're going to work with that now. So it might be Paschimottanasana, it might be child's pose. If you've got a bolster, you might lie over your bolster. It might be easy cross-legged, coming forward. It might be with the legs wide apart. So choose whichever is your favourite forward bend. If you're doing a pose that has two sides, like Janushirasana, stay for about 3 or 4 breaths on the first side, then swap the legs over and do the other side. I'm going to do Paschimottanasana. You might be sitting up onto a folded blanket for a bit of extra support. You might even play around if you've got a block with, I was doing this yesterday in my own practice, use the block for a few poses. You might place it down. And even if you can't come all the way forward, you can play around with resting your elbows on it, something like this. Some of you might be able to come down a little bit further, resting your forehead on the block. So that's an option. So staying in the pose for about 8 breaths in all. So either doing the 2 sides for about 3 or 4 breaths. Just staying in one forward bend for about 8 breaths. The focus is on softening and feeling some lightness in the pose, rather than it being a massive struggle. Soft, light, gentle breath. If you're doing the 2 sides, you will have swapped over by now. You're working on the second side. Gently come up. So we're going to now move into a meditation. If you can come into a seated position for this. If you're really low on energy, you're welcome to lie down. Pop socks on or pop a shawl around you. Sighing the breath away. Make sure that your spine is nice and tall. I'm going to work with a beautiful meditation we don't work with very often in these sessions, which is it comes from very ancient times in various traditions, and it's called the Inner Smile meditation. Some of you will be familiar with this and have done it before. In Bali, a place very close to my heart, and I know some of you as well, they believe that smiling meditation can wash away bad energy and remove stress. In recent times, scientists have also confirmed that even a forced smile helps the body release powerful, feel-good chemicals in the brain to help ward off depression and also lower stress. In a nutshell, the practice involves directing the healing energy of a grateful smile to different body parts. So gratitude is a big part of this practice. So let's begin by lightly closing our eyes. You might like to remove glasses if you're wearing them. It's a personal choice. And just begin by taking a few cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then very slowly begin to allow your lips, your mouth to form a slight smile. It doesn't have to be big, just enough so that you sense your lips are smiling. And begin to allow the smile to spread over your face. Feel your chin smiling, your cheeks smiling, your nose smiling, your eyes smiling. Sense that your eyebrows are smiling, your forehead, ears, your hair, and your scalp. Take a moment to feel your whole head smiling. And then allow this happy, smiling energy to spread through your body. Feel the smile in your neck, the front and the back. Feel it traveling through your shoulders, down your arms, into your hands and fingers. Sense the smiling energy in your chest, traveling down into your tummy, through the whole of your back, and down into your pelvis, through your hips, and down both legs, into your feet and toes. If you're concerned about a particular body part or organ, perhaps your stomach or your liver, pancreas, your heart, your spine, send some of this smiling energy to that part of you. Visualize the part or the organ and fill it with smiling energy. Finally, imagine sending some of this warm, joyful, smiling energy out into the world to touch your dearest loved ones, family and friends, and beyond. Perhaps imagine filling the entire globe with this smiling energy. Gently release the practice and bring your hands to rest over your heart space. You can keep the eyes closed if you're comfortable. We'll work with 3 final hums, directing sound into the heart space. Exhale all breath. Breathing in, open the arms out wide. Gently release and quietly make your way down to the floor now. Spend 4 or 5 minutes in Shavasana for relaxation. Just gather what you need to be fully supported and warm. Sigh the breath away. And you might like to say to yourselves, breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my mind. May I be balanced. May I be at peace. Allow your whole body now to feel light as cotton wool, as light as a feather. Feel your whole body softening, lightening, letting go of any hard, rigid edges. allowing your whole body to widen, to feel spacious and expansive. Feeling a softness in your face, neck, and throat. No pressure, no tension, only ease. Your chest is soft. The breath flowing in and out. Experiencing a softening in both shoulders, both arms, hands, and fingers. Slowly moving down through the trunk of your body, feeling all tension leaving. Feel a sense of softening in your tummy. No hardening of the tummy. Softening and relaxing. And allowing this sensation of softness to travel down into both legs, feet, and toes. Whole body softening. Whole body relaxing. And allowing this feeling of softness, of lightness, to move into your mind. Release the need to push yourself relentlessly. And begin to develop a kind, gentle attitude towards yourself. Sensitive to what's going on inside of you. Letting go. Letting go. Letting go. I'd like to share with you another favourite poem by Ardis Whitman. It's called Hope for the Moment. There are times when it is hard to believe in the future, when we are temporarily just not brave enough. When this happens, concentrate on the present. Cultivate le petit bonheur, the little happiness, until courage returns. Look forward to the beauty of the next moment, the next hour, the promise of a good meal, sleep, a book, a movie, the likelihood that tonight the stars will shine and tomorrow the sun will shine. Sink roots into the present until the strength grows to think about tomorrow. Let's start now to bring a little movement into our fingers and toes. Deepening the breath. Becoming aware once more of where you are. I'd like to have a bit of a stretch. And when you're ready, just carefully roll over to one side. And you can make your way up into a comfy seated position. We'll close this morning with 3 Oms if you'd like to join with me. And bring the hands to prayer at the heart space. Exhale the breath. Breathing in. Gently bow the head down towards your heart, looking deep within. And lift the head up. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.